Hello, I'm Lockstin, and this is Gnoggin, but you knew that already. Do you like this new camera angle? I don't, so we're back over here. Or are we? Well, if you're somehow new to this channel on a Hariyama video of all of them, this is a channel where we talk about Pokémon. And, turns out, Hariyama is a Pokémon. And that's okay. And besides, Hariyama might be more interesting than you think. This Gen 3 Pokémon found only on the hardest paths of Victory Road is the evolution of Makuhita and is known as the Arm Thrust Pokémon, and thus we can easily see its inspirations. Sumo wrestling! But could there be more? Well, yeah. As with many Pokémon, this creature has many influences that really add to the lore, so let's go ahead and talk about that. Okay. Now, if you're anything like me, then you appreciate a good sound. Especially this one. And thanks to today's sponsor, these amazing wireless Bluetooth memory foam over-the-ear noise-canceling headphones with a battery that lasts 12 hours while playing music, or 200 hours in standby mode while you do just about anything you want within 30 feet of whatever is delivering your music, which it also happens to connect really, really well and easy to. From Cove Audio. It's the 101 noise-canceling headphones. But like, listen to these. You can't hear them super clearly? And then you do. They get so loud. How fun. I've been using these for over a year now, and they are holding up super well. And actually, there's an insane back-to-school special going on right now. 68% off! More than 2/3 of the cost gone! All you have to do is click the link in the description and use the code L70. The L is for Lockstin. And 7 rhymes with heaven. Heavenly 70. That doesn't quite work, maybe that's not it. Yeah! Let's start with what we can clearly see. Hariyama's appearance. It's standing rather rotundly, or how the kids say, extra Also, even without looking into it yet, it's clearly wearing traditional Japanese clothing.
Oh, another clothing mon. Yay. What's next? There's gonna be some mon with wigs?
Ha! Well, Hariyama does not necessarily have a wig, but it does have a specific hairstyle, known as the classic Chon Mage. Chon Mage? Chon Mage? Chon Mage. You know, the funny-looking by today's Western standards, Japanese ye ol' Edo period fade. You know, at the time it was sick, it was posh, it shows you had drip back in the day. Well, kinda. It actually was used to keep samurai helmets in place during battle. It later became almost a status symbol of, hey, I'm a samurai, check me out. Wink, I got this haircut because I'm a samurai, and that's hot.
Oh yeah, so hot. Call the fire chief. Dogs are starting to stick to the hydrants.
And actually, there's a pretty deep connection between samurai and sumo wrestlers. In fact, what if I told you that samurai and sumo is basically the same thing? Or at least was. Once. You see, a sumo wrestler, or a rikishi, was someone who practiced sumo, and this was supposedly a ritualistic dance for harvest gods. Yeah, that's something you might not have thought about. It's very deeply rooted in religion. Shinto, to be exact. You can see it in sumo's basic form, from the referee dressing like a Shinto priest, to the wrestlers purifying the ring with salt before the match. Actually, fun fact time, that's why they would often slap themselves before a match. It was to get all the dust off their hands. That dust, of course, being from the salt. And the last thing you want to do while wrestling is to commit an actual crime. The crime is assault. This actually explains why Hariyama knows the move Brine. Yeah, it learns Brine? Every Pokemon that knew this move before it was water type, because that makes sense, it's a water move. So Hariyama must know Brine for a thematic reason, and yeah, it's this. A brine is an extremely salty water, often used to preserve, pickle, or purify foods, similar to sumo wrestlers purifying their arena with salt. And speaking of moves, it knows Whirlwind as well. It's another odd move for this fighting type that looks like it could push a car through a hose but can't dunk a ball in a breadbasket. I don't even know what I just said, but it knows Whirlwind for a thematic reason as well. The god Takemikazuchi, the god of thunder, was said to originally win the Japanese region in a contest of sumo from the natives of the land. Whirlwind being a common action the god of thunder would do. Because, you know, it's the god of thunder, that means it's a wind god. God magic stuff. But back to samurai. During the Kamakura period, sumo was used to train samurai and to settle disputes. And during this time, Shinto actually was very important to samurai, similar to how Western knights were all hoity-toity religious, for the Holy Land, for God's glory, and all that. So were samurai, in their own way. Sure is weird how humans often group up with other humans with a common interest, such as religion, especially a religion of peace, and they always wind up with a military and go on big sprees of conquest. But yeah, we can see this in Hariyama. It's both sumo and samurai. We have the hair, it's clothing. Heck, it's 3 gargantuan fingers? Yeah, samurai. However, there is also a mild Buddha theme in his design. The large earlobes and the, it's down with the thickness. Not Buddha, sorry. Bodhi. Religion was pretty big in Japan at the time. Shinto, Buddhism, you name it. And that religion typically influenced how people wanted to look or dress. With Buddhism, a lot of people wanted to look like Buddha, who was said to have huge earlobes and a protuberance on his head and webbed fingers. I'd never heard of this until we started researching this. It was said that if you had big earlobes, you would become rich or important in history. They also would blacken their teeth. This was a sign not of royalty, but of wealth, as it was a way of preserving their teeth, and similar to modern dentistry, only the rich can afford it. Luxury bones. Typically, military persons would have the black teeth because it was the most lucrative job back then. I bring this up not because Hariyama has black teeth, but the yokai, Uan, has black teeth. It's also similarly colored to Hariyama, and also is similarly disgusting. It also only has 3 grotesque fingers on its hands that it pushes out to stop people in their path, similar to sumo. These 3 fingers led to modern Oni depictions also only having 3 fingers, which possibly explains the monster part of this pocket monster. Or maybe its hands are just another samurai reference. Enter the Kyudo Mitsugake, a classic Japanese archery mitt. It gets the name Kyudo from Kyujutsu, the art of archery, and use of it started in samurai-era practices. Basically, it's a big ol' 3-fingered brace to brace your arm and help with the strong pull of a bow, and most often, they are this yellowy color, just like Hariyama's hands. In fact, Hariyama's clothing all around is a reference to various parts of samurai garb. The 2-toed feet, perfect for Zambatai Geta, or Zori, the Japanese wooden sandals. His poofy pants are also a samurai armor style, and the skirt thing he's got? Sumo and samurai alike wore similar stiffened fabric here. The specific terms are sagari, that hang off a wrestler's mawashi, the little butt cover they got. Tradition is also really important to sumo and samurai, and so many sumo become sumo trainers after their retirement, which is referenced in Hariyama's Pokédex entries. It is known for its fantastic strength, but as it grows older, it focuses more on training Makuhita. Masters training the next generation. How honorable. Oh gosh, we've gotten this far and I haven't even mentioned etymology. Well, Makuhita is just a corruption of Makushita, the 3rd highest division in professional sumo wrestling. So, it's good, but not the best, as it would be, since it still has an evolution to go to. And then there's good old Hariyama. You've got Harite, which means open hand strike, so the common sumo slap move. There's also Hiriao, meaning to compete with, and Haritausu, to knock down. And both of those just further refer to the spirit of sumo. There's also Yama, meaning mountain, likely referring to its gargantuan size. And all of this comes together into Hariyama, which also happens to be a word on its own. It means pincushion, which are large, plump, round, and take a lot of hits. How perfect, really. And I guess we should talk about Makuhita, since I'll probably never have this opportunity ever again. Well, so thick! Makuhita also has the two toes resembling geta, and its top knot can both reference a chonmage as well as just the top of a tied sack, which one could use as a punching bag. Speaking of, it does have boxing glove hands, and this little pattern around its neck could be a reference to baby bibs, as it's definitely young and chubby like babies with their round and red plump cheeks, or it could reference some Japanese peasant clothing, or just the looser fitting rounded yukata. So all in all, Hariyama and Makuhita. They're Pokémon, and that's okay.